Hello and welcome to is this going to be the last episode with Zoe? I don't know. I mean, it feels like it probably will be. So here's the latest update. Unfortunately, we are now sitting on 4 mental trauma, which is just normally, if I wasn't recording this and uploading them, I probably would have just abandoned it by now. However, I really feel like after some of the just really exciting plays we've had with Zoe, we're just going to push it once more. So the plan will go one of two ways. Either we'll play Where Demon Waits and last about a minute, in which case I'll chill out, have a beer, we'll talk about the deck, and I'll just do a sort of end, put an exclamation mark at the end of the Zoey Samaras sentence. Or maybe, just maybe, we can have a fighting chance at this scenario, in which case we'll just see what happens. But that's the plan. I didn't want to abandon her. She'd done so well, and to be honest, this trauma is not her fault. The trauma, I mean, the train was a disaster, which wasn't her fault. Smite the Wicked. The blood on the altar, Smite the Wicked, came up right at the end. The only one I can really say, sorry, that was stupid, was the last one. I just got a bit greedy. I could have resigned so many times, but I just wanted to play for all 3 broods. And yeah, unfortunately, it didn't quite work. And funny enough, it wasn't actually the broods that killed me. It was the lack of broods, because I got the treachery that told me to spawn a brood or take 2 horror, and I couldn't spawn a brood, so I had to take 2 horror, and that was that. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I've been through the encounter deck for Where Demon Waits, and all right, I mean, just straight off the bat, let's just get this out of the way. There's Rotting Remains, which just could kill me immediately. I don't even need to auto fail it for it to kill me. I mean, if I get a -3, I'm gone. So there's that. But and most of the horror in this scenario does come from the enemies. So and enemies is kind of what Zoe does. So it's possible. I mean, very unlikely. Anyway, we've got a little bit of upgrading to do. We've got 2 XP. So Keen Eye is obviously not going to happen. So let's see what we get. What would be good? Kerosene would be amazing. What else would be good? Brother X, Big X would be good. Brother Xavier. Let's just see what we got. Okay, so here we go, Zoe. This is fairly crucial. Let's see what we get. First one is... Oh, do you know what? I feel like every time I turn over a card now in the upgrade, it's always that laugh. Safeguard. Okay, look, these 4 words that just pretty much sum up the whole campaign. During another investigator's turn. So what do we got? We've got willpower and agility. Okay. Looks like we're going to be chatting. Okay, what's going out? What is it? Okay, it's the guard dog. I feel like the guard dog has kind of been there as a good backup throughout the campaign. I think it's only been played once or twice. But I'm a bit sorry to see that go, but there's a lot of cards that would be a lot worse if they left the deck, so there we go. Safeguard in, yay. Guard dog out, boo. Right, okay, well, there's nothing much to say really. We've got a ridiculous task ahead of ourselves. I think we'll just get straight down to it. Okay, let's get ready for the gameplay. Alright guys, it all comes down to this. I was hoping to be in a far better situation than this. The situation is grim. Let's look at the bad news. We've got our 4 mental trauma. We have got the conglomeration of spheres sitting in the ascending path because we destroyed Silas Bishop. Was it Seth Bishop? I get them mixed up. We've got only 1 doom. I suppose that's a little bit good news because we only let 1 brood escape. Other good news. Other bad news. We've got to put a -5 in the bag, which is great. We've never ever been prepared for -5s. The encounter deck is ridiculously enormous. Let's have a look at symbols. Skulls, -1 if you are at normal location. If you're at altered location, that's -3. So the altered locations are offshoots of the ascending path. Cultist, reveal another token, cancel the effects of each icon on a skill card that you commit to that test. That's going to wreck me at least once, you guarantee. Tablet's just a -2, -4 if it's agenda 2, fine, and here we go. the one that we didn't need to take, the Necronomicon, the Elder Thing, -X, discard top 2 cards of your deck, and X is the total printed cost of both these discarded cards. Okay, Safeguard. There we go. That's going to be you being useful. What a rubbish upgrade that was. I mean, you know, just a little bit of help. Okay, so immediate task is going to be to find a way to sort this guy out, because if he hits me twice, I am dead. And if I perform a melee attack using a weapon, then it gets lost. So we need a gun. We need a gun or some soak. That's all we care about to start this off. Okay, here we go, guys. It's all come down to this. I seem to have quite a lot of cards in my deck. I'm just going to pause and make sure I haven't just shuffled all the upgrades in. That is just legitimately the size of my deck when you put together all the weaknesses and all the story assets that we've got. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it. First 5 cards we have got. Eavesdrop, absolutely no help whatsoever. Cryptic Writings, well, the icons could certainly help me out there. Intrepid, well, not at the moment, but okay, fine. Armitage, bit of soak, that's pretty good. He could just sort me out with the Conglomeration of Spheres. That's pretty good news. And Warren Rice. Okay, so I feel like I should keep both those guys. I do badly need a weapon. Okay, so I'll keep both those guys. Just let one of them die as I deal with a Conglomeration of Spheres, and then let the other one help me out. So we have got Interrogate, a Trench Knife, and my cup of tea. I don't go anywhere without my cup of tea. Right. I suppose the other option here is I try and open up one of the locations and just get out of the way of the Conglomeration of Spheres while I still carry on looking for a weapon. Now, in terms of locations, got to be really careful here, because one of the locations that comes off here, and let me get this right, if you move that on your last action, you take horror. And then there's kind of the opposite here. So I do not want to enter a location on my last action from here. All right, so what are we doing? I mean, is scrying really worth playing? I don't think it is. The Trench Knife will go when I use it on the Conglomeration of Spheres. I feel like the best plan is to get Professor Warren Rice in and then try and get a location open. So I'm going to commit scrying. Okay, so here we go. Right, so we are doing this investigate test. So you can't use any clue tech on these places. This is what I've been planning for from the start. 4 and 3 skulls on our side. Skull. I don't believe it. Right, okay. Yep, okay, so we can put a random. Which one is it? Random. I'll just pause quickly. Apologies for that, just slightly interrupted there. So we put a location to play. Now, the thing is, one of these has got the text on it. If you go into it and you've got no actions left, you take 2 horror. So we cannot do that. We've got to stay where we are. We're about to be engaged with this Conglomeration of Spheres. Maybe I should have put in Armitage first. It doesn't matter. Let's just bring in the Trench Knife. Even though I'm going to lose it, it'll just give you a slight leg up for the first attack. All right, okay, so enemy phase. He moves in, he engages. He does 1 horror and 1 damage, both of which are going on Warren Rice. Upkeep, we get a little gun. Okay, maybe we'll use that on the second turn just to really sort of make sure we get. Yeah, you take an attack of opportunity, don't you? Yeah, no, that's not that great, is it? Okay, and then did I take a resource? Let me think. What did I do? No, I didn't take a resource. Okay, let me put a second doom on. Let's see what we get, and it is. Oh wow. Okay, it's an avian thrall. Okay, already we are crashing really badly. Okay, so we're just going to have to start fighting. Oh dear, how on earth are we going to cope with this? I guess if we're using a Trench Knife against the avian thrall, then we will be able to do, we'll be attacking at 6. So I guess that's how we start. We start with 6 against 5. Okay, if I put the gun into play, I can kill that avian thrall. I'll take 2 horror and 2 damage, and Warren Rice will be dead, and then I'll be killed by the Conglomeration of Spheres. Okay, it's going to be the short version. So here we go. Right. So we're just attacking the avian thrall. So first attack, we're 6 on 5. That's a -5. There we go. Second action, we might as well start committing now. 7 on 5. We're fighting with the Trench Knife here. There we go. The third action. That's it. We've just lost. Third action. Okay, well, we did 1 damage to it. Great, excellent. Okay, so enemy phase, we take 2 damage and 2 horror. So, okay, if I... Oh my god, I can actually get away with this. Look, 1 damage, 2 damage, and then 1 horror, 1 horror. Okay, upkeep, desperate search, get a resource. Oh, by the way, I should have 2 more resources, shouldn't I, for when these guys engage me. So the third doom is going on. Let's see what we get, and it is... okay, Vortex of Time. Each investigator has a sentinel heal location, which I am at. Test willpower 4. Each investigator who fails takes 2 damage. Okay, well, I can live with damage. Here we go. 0 out of pass. Nice. All right, so here we go. We are just carrying on with the brawl. Here we go. So, first action, we are... so we're still 6 on 5. So, first attack. That's cultist. We lose all things committed. There's nothing committed. Second action, that's a hit. Okay, here we go. Attack again for the second time. That is really bad news. Oh, it means I've got to discard 2 cards. The card. Okay. Look what my next 2 cards were. So that's -6. So that's a miss. So this is me losing the scenario. 1 more chop. Let's go for the Elder Sign. Come on, Elder Sign. Forget the Elder Sign. We're still alive. It's not the Elder Sign, it's the -5. So that is it. 2 horror, 2 damage. Zoey is out through horror pretty much before it even began. And that is the end of her campaign. Alright, well, look, I mean, there's not really much to say there. What would have happened if I'd gone in here? What would have happened if I'd gone in here? After you revealed Slaughtered Woods, take 2 horror. If you have no actions remaining, that's what I would have been. That's where I would have been. Alright, it's over. So, okay, I'm just gonna take a moment. I'm not really disappointed about that. I'm not at all surprised. I mean, you know, it's a bit annoying when a scenario takes longer to set up than it does to actually play. But no, that's fine. That's what I was expecting. So, I will take a quick pause, and then I'm just going to talk through the campaign, talk a little bit about Zoey, and then call it a day. Alright, so there we go. That is the end of the campaign, and it ends in a big fat loss. I think I can't remember what the text is. If you go out through, if you get defeated, it's something brilliant. Where is it? Oh yeah, in your campaign log, record that Yog Sothoth tore apart the barrier between worlds and became one with all reality. I said that to a friend once, saying, "Oh, look at this! Look what's just happened to me." And his response was, "Is that bad?" Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so let's start with the campaign and my approach. So the whole route through the campaign was designed for this scenario, ironically, and designed for dealing with these tests. So these flat investigation tests. Because you can't use any tricks on them. Yeah, of course you could commit stuff, and I did have quite a lot of icons, but you know, Greta's no help there, evidence is no help there. So that was just on my mind the whole time. So throughout the entire campaign, everything was based on trying to get as many static boosts as possible. That's why we went to the university first and we picked up Warren Rice. That is why we kept the Necronomicon, and unfortunately, as it turns out, the train is just too difficult. The train was just too difficult, and we lost all that progress. And I think it was quite a turning point as well, because the Elder Thing symbol, okay, it ended my game this scenario. It was a real problem throughout the campaign after it went in the bag. So if I was to do this again, I probably would have a symbol-free run. I don't know about students, really. I don't know whether that was the right decision. I think it was kind of okay. Maybe that's what I would do. I'd keep Warren and not go for the Necronomicon. Because, you know, there's always a chance you can get Warren back. Once the Necronomicon is gone, it's gone. Gone, Necronomicon, be gone. So yeah, that was a shame. I don't think there's much I could do about the train. I kind of foreshadowed it by saying the worst thing that's ever happened to me on the train is getting Smite the Wicked attached to the Wizard of the Order, and then it happened straight away again with Zoey. So can't really complain with that because I did have a fair amount of fortune at the museum. The museum was a blast. The museum, I think, was one of the real highlights of this campaign. Which brings us to Blood on the Altar, which is just one of my favourite games that we've done so far, which is wonderful that it coincided with the charity event. That'd be a real highlight, and I remember that day for a very, very long time. I'd actually recorded it like a week before, so I was sitting on it, and I shared it with friend of the show, Perdure. Who liked it, and bless him, he turned up to watch the stream anyway. So that was awesome, mate. Thank you for that. And yeah, just the excitement about that was really, really good, and it was so good that it ended with what looked like a victory. But of course, when the Smite the Wicked popped up, and that brought me down to 3 mental trauma, I think the writing was pretty much on the wall. So. I mean, let's have a look at this situation I was in. Suppose I'd done things differently in Undimensional Unseen. Suppose I had resigned, even with 0 experience. Did the card I get come up? I don't think it did. So it wouldn't have made any difference to any of the cards that I would have got. Maybe I would have had the guard dog pop up, but I don't think so because the card I can't even remember what it was that I got upgraded to. It was Safeguard, wasn't it? And frankly, one more horror I don't think would have helped me at all then. I guess I could have taken an attack of opportunity and got the gun in play. Maybe I should have done that anyway. I needed more damage. And I think there's time to look at the deck now because I think that's where we got the issues, didn't we? So the Cult Vest Pocket, I can't really criticise it because it has helped me out a couple of times. It is, I quite like it really, but you need the right situation. I mean, it won Blood on the Altar for me, so it will always stay a place in my heart. But I guess if Zoey is going to get an off-class card, I don't think the Cult Vest Pocket is really a good use of a slot, is it? I mean, I think there are far better choices. Let's go through the off-classes first. Eavesdrop. So let's just remind ourselves. Choose an unengaged enemy at your location. So there's the issue. We're dealing with an investigator with an agility of 2. I guess whippoorwills, but then, the other thing is you've then got to pass an intellect test. So did that fire at all? I don't think it did in the whole campaign. What else did I have? So cryptic writings. Yeah, I mean, if you're a seeker, it's absolutely fine. If you're drawing lots of cards, that's great. I did actually draw it one time, but as it turned out, I didn't want the two resources. I really, really wanted the icons. So yeah, you could just play it for 2 resources. You would only use it if you drew it, wouldn't you? But those 2 icons were absolutely fantastic, and they definitely helped me out a couple of times. Then what did we have? Then we had, I think it's a Sour Mash, yeah, which is a bit weird. It's a bit weird having a sort of a double off class. And in MJ's original plan for off class, this would have counted as 2 because they wanted it nice and simple, where you just look at the symbols, you count the number of symbols. You count the number of symbols that shouldn't be there, and that's the total you're allowed. But the rules changed and made it, I don't know, easier, a little more complicated. Everyone had different feelings about it at the time. But as a card itself, wasn't really there. I mean, one of the things I would say for Zoey is having the full willpower is so good. It's so good. It just, what remains could have killed me at any point during this campaign, and really a lot of the willpower tests really, really went my way. So that's something that we like that. And the final one, of course, was the scrying, which I just never had time to play it at all. It just never seemed like a decent use of time. I guess I could have used it and tried to stop getting Smite the Wicked. There we go. I'd have had two less mental trauma, wouldn't I? I don't think it would have made any difference. Great card though. I do like the card. I do like the art as well. Very nice indeed. All right, okay, so let's have a look at some of our level 0 cards that made the distance of the campaign. Desperate Search, absolutely brilliant card for Zoe. I'd highly recommend that for Zoe. She's going to get desperate at some point, and yeah, just a really, really good card to take care of one of her weaknesses. Trench Knife, well, okay, you get a bit of a bonus, and Zoe quite likes engagement, but I don't think there's really enough there. Engaging. Yeah, okay. I mean, the issue with Trench Knife is the 100 better options that I would have taken, but it did do some work. It did knock out some people. What else did we start off with? The Blackjack. Well, I mean, that's just not really much good at all, is it? It's just +1 to fight. It makes a bit of a difference, but not really enough. What else have we got? So 1-2 punch seemed to miss pretty much every crucial moment except the end of Blood of the Altar when it did work. Calling in Favour is always a card that I have to think about. I have to stop and think about what it does. And I was delighted that I managed to get it off in the Blood on the Altar to bring Greta back to my hand. And then I could play her again. Unfortunately, she got kidnapped, which I don't think I really appreciated that at the time. The amount of money I just wasted on that. Greta herself is fantastic, really, really good. If you can find a different way to sort out the investigation, and what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is there a better ally for Zoe? Possibly, but I do think Greta's pretty good. And they kind of look like they'd be mates as well. It looks like they've got a lot of shared interests. Run for Your Life. Yep, used that a couple of times. That got me a couple of XP in, what do you call it? The Undimensional Unseen. Counterpunch, I don't think I used once. I think pretty much that was just icons. Self-sacrifice. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about it. Intrepid, I loved Intrepid. One of my highlights of this campaign was playing two Intrepids and getting +2 to my book. That was really cool. I would recommend double Intrepid for Zoe. I really, really would. I think it's a fun card when it works, and I think we got one Interrogate off. And there were plenty of options for it. So those are the cards that made it through the campaign. Let's now have a look at our XP cards. So we had the Council Coffer. I don't hate it. I think it's a funny card. I really do. And on solo, you've only got to pass one test. But I think the key is you just got to use it. There's no point keeping it hanging around like I did. I had it there. Oh, should I save it? Should I save it? Use it. Just use it. It's fun. I think this card would have been great. Didn't get a chance to use it. Blood Eclipse. I think it's a good Zoe card. I would strongly recommend it. Ambush. I didn't really see much of that going on this scenario. I think if you know what's coming up. If you've got an enemy spawning, then it's pretty good. I didn't really see much worth for it, to be honest. But your mileage may vary as the saying goes. Combat training that did some work at some point. The old Composures, I haven't seen them for a while. Obviously, the Horror Soak is not bad. Police Badge is absolutely brilliant. I think it's a good choice for Zoe. If you're going to lean into her willpower, then that extra +1. And yeah, like I said, I think this card in Undimensional Unseen was great, as was this one. This card is superb. Really, really good. Love the art. The art's awesome, isn't it? But also the economy. If you look at upgrades, one upgrade pip very often translates to a 1 resource discount. If you look at Leo De Luca, you can see that. So if you compare this to normal physical training, you're paying 4 experience and you're getting 2 resources back immediately. Now, all you've got to do is use 4 of those resources and it's paid for itself in terms of like my interpretation of the economy. But just having it there ready for the Mythos phase. He's great, and look, it leans into her 2 strong stats. It's a really, really good card for Zoe. Safeguard, well, okay, well, it made me laugh. Evidence level 2, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's great because it's evidence. Its secondary ability, which is you discover 2 clues instead if you've defeated enemies with a combined total of at least 4 printed health this turn. I don't know how many opportunities I had that happen. Because I tended to run from the big health enemies. I guess in a normal deck it would be good. Blessings of Isis. Well, there's not much to say there. It does look like Doctor Who regenerating, which I quite like. Mano a Mano I used. I don't know what to say really about Mano a Mano. I don't think it's a great card. Certainly in Zoe, but it did its business. Marksmanship, never got a chance to play that, which I think I'm a bit sad about that, because once I got my other gun, it would have been fun to do something with that. Certainly in Undimensional Unseen and Where Doom Awaits. We didn't really have time in Where Doom Awaits, did we? The 45 automatic is a great weapon. It's also a bit of a no-brainer weapon. You don't have to think about it. If you're doing single-handed weapons and you've got 2 XP to spend, why not just get it? It's fantastic. And extra ammunition. You know, it's core set. The one thing about extra ammunition, you do need guns for it. The other thing about extra ammunition is beware. It looks a little bit like evidence, which is why I sort of reacted so strangely when it popped up in my upgrade video. Right, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that. Okay, so where are we going next? That's the question. Well, I believe that in terms of recording order, straight after Zoe was Rex. Now, I wasn't thrilled with Rex, I think, but and you know, I love that you guys watch my video. I don't sit there looking at the number of views or anything like that, but I do genuinely really appreciate anyone who watches my video. But Rex, for some bizarre reason, Rex seems to have way more views than everybody else. I don't know, maybe there's a ghost in it or something like that. I don't know, but I'm feeling like, yeah, well, you know, if people are wanting to see a bit more of Rex, then I think I will probably just stick with the order and go to Rex next. I'll have a good old long hard think about his strategy. He does seem like someone who might want the Necronomicon. But there we go. Right, Zoe didn't make it, unfortunately. And there we go. That's it. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you soon with Rex Murphy. But yeah, cheers, Zoe. It has been amazing. All right, take care, guys. Stay safe.